So over the past 6 months, I haven't had the possibility to talk with my coach and mentor directly. And at the beginning, I was a little bit frustrated, and I said to myself, "Ah, shit, when can I create this opportunity? How can this be?" And I was kind of disappointed. Then I went into this positive phase when I said, you know what? Now I've worked with this guy for quite a long time. Most probably I can self-coach myself using his style. And actually this happened consistently for quite a few months, where I was just sit down and reflect and think, how would he solve this problem? How would he go through this? And I can go through that as well. And I was reminded of the power of this when recently I posted on LinkedIn this story here. A story is worth mentioning as well. Woof, my LinkedIn just lost where I am. Just hold that thought. Got it. So there was this story, like there's this client of mine who disappears for almost a year. I send emails, don't get anything back. Then finally I sent a reminder and I said, "Oh, so sorry, but since we got the funding, I didn't have any time." Since we got the funding, we were working on the pitch deck. We were actually working on confidence and getting you ready for the funding round, and you haven't told me that the funding has happened. And yeah, so Mario got 5 million in, let's say this was in January 2024. So at the beginning of the crunch. Right now there is a big funding crunch. We are in December of 2024. And I knew nothing about it. And I found this really funny. So I was posting this, but I was also reminded of the work that I did previously with Sandra. And Sandra, who's working at partnerships in an important museum in Berlin, she says, "I can attest to this, 10 out of 10 rating from Matteo. You've helped me a lot, and I'm always thinking of you." And I got this similarly also from Jen, who is another coach, and we're doing this. We are coaching each other like every week in a beautiful, beautiful exchange. And she sent me a voice message saying, "I've been traveling and all these things are going wrong, and there's all these hurdles along the way. But whenever all of these things are happening right now, I'm going back to your advice. I'm going back to your coaching, and I have you in my head telling me, giving me the instructions on how to deal with the chaos, how to deal with the conflict, how to deal with the pain, and slow down and take care and actually solve it." And so it's really beautiful that we have this power within ourselves to help other people see where they're going, help other people understand their struggles better than they do, but also that we can internalize this. And so this is why it's so important, I think, to understand who is the right person around us to help us, to support us, to coach us. And what are the things inside of us that we need to coach? Because ideally, we would be creatures that are constantly in the flow state. They're constantly lost in their thoughts, lost in their work, lost in writing, coding, driving, rock climbing, all of these fantastic activities. In reality, we are always in a conflict situation, like even an internal conflict situation. Like my typical conflict situation is, I'm working all morning, I'm super focused. I'm usually fasting in the morning, but at 1 o'clock, I'm really hungry. And so I snap out of it, I'm distracted, and I need to feed my body. I need to become more human and less brain, more body, less brain. And I go to the kitchen, but the first thing I do is not even look inside the fridge. I look inside the iPad for some entertainment, some content that will give me the illusion that I'm still productive, that I'm still in that work mode, that I was the whole morning. And the realization that if you stop doing them, if you stop compensating, then you're really giving yourself not just a break. And for sure, this is something that we need. We need a break from input. We are constant input. But you also open the space for something else. Call it spiritual, call it calm, call it mindfulness, call it anything you like. I don't care. But you're just creating space for yourself, for something. And whatever that needs to emerge will use that space that you have created, or it will be squeezed and squeezed and squeezed, and then wait until you take a long walk or wait until you're in the shower. But if you bring the AirPods on the walk, and if you switch on music while you're in the shower, etc., you're going to drown all of these moments. And I think these moments are what, as entrepreneurs, they're the most important growth moments. And so if you could substitute in general in your life the moments where you are entertained to moments of silence, and if you could switch the phone for a little notebook or just a piece of paper where you can capture the ideas that are coming, I think you would have the greatest benefit. And if you're not coaching with anybody, go start coaching with somebody specifically, because it's going to be such a gift to have them in your head. And as I'm considering, what are the voices that I want in my head for 2025, I want to share this with you. If you find these kind of videos interesting, the algorithm understands it, but I'd like to know specifically. So just shoot me an email, leave a comment, or, just those silly things like liking and subscribing. It gives me a signal that I'm doing directionally the right thing, and I would really appreciate it. See you in the next one.